Was calling for Mr. Andy Baxter.
This is him. Is this Justin?
Yes, sir, it is. Thank God I got that last name right. I would have botched that, and it would have been off to a bad start. It would have been just a
You know,
terrible.
it just reminded me of sixth grade. It was low hanging fruit to call me Andy Baxter. So
Andy
I was
Bastard.
reminded
Somebody
just
called you Andy Bastard in the sixth grade. Oh man, that's
well, I mean, it was low hanging fruit. The name's just so close. Thankfully, it didn't happen too long. But yes, it did happen on occasion.
that's better than Justin Strokes. So we'll leave it at that. And we're off
How
to a
you
great
doing,
start.
man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well. Doing very well.
I appreciate that. I can't wait to have you here in the Middle Tennessee area. Where are you at now?
I am currently in my home in Florence, Alabama,
Oh
which
hell
is
yeah!
yeah, right next to Muscle Shoals. That's where we live now.
There you are. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to try to, because a lot of this is pretty boilerplate, unfortunately, for a lot of these interview questions. So if there's anything you want to shoehorn into the interview or anything you want to talk about that's, add a different spin to it, please feel free to do so. First things first, this upcoming Music City Roots date comes after the release of Let a Lover Drown You. The album is something of a love letter to love itself, correct?
I think that's a great way to describe it. It's the first time I've had it described in such a way, so I'm super fond of it. So yeah, I agree.
What can you share about the album?
I can say that a lot of it was written while we were on the road doing the Struggle Pretty album tour, and so a lot of it happened um, very organically. Like none of this was. I think one of my favorite facts about the writing process for this record was that none of it was out of hustle or drive or necessity. It was all out of an overflow of excitement and joy that we got to tour and that we were doing it and we were full timing it. So it was a really big deal to be able to say, man, this record was the joy was its fuel. There was no necessity, like we really felt we needed to stay relevant or release anything just to make sure that we weren't, lost in the sea of other artists. It was really cool to be excited throughout the whole writing process and recording process. And so, other than that, there's a major difference in terms of who produced and engineered the record.
Sure.
That was
Let's go
a big
before
difference.
for sure. Before we jump into that, I want to you mentioned something of note that I wanted to bring up. You mentioned that this was sort of fueled by joy. I wanted to ask,
Yeah.
since you're trading off, the dynamic of pressure or drive. Do you think that doing something out of pure joy and out of a pure artistic expression, is that a sustainable endeavor? Do you
Hmm.
think?
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't know. No one can look. I mean, you could be able to say that in hindsight. For
Sure,
right now, I think that it seems to be the most sustainable fuel that wouldn't drive you crazy and that would allow you to write about whatever.
sure.
If there are other, I mean, and regardless of what happens, we're not, live life in like a biodome that's unaffected by reality and hardship, and
Pauly Shore's
it's
not
just a
there.
regular
I'm sorry.
day to life stuff. But in reality, I do think that you create some of your best stuff when it's not like you can't be sad and write a beautiful song, or you can't be happy or under pressure and write a good song. But even though we tackle topics of heartache and hope deferred on this record a ton, I can say that they were coming out of places that sought to excavate old feelings, excavate old emotions, and try and make sense of them, and hopefully be cathartic to people who were going through stuff that we had before. And all of that was coming out of a reservoir of, I love doing this job. When I say it was built out of joy, that's definitely what I mean. Like, we love writing. That is one of the, I think it is the most exciting portion for us. Like, we love the creation process, making songs and what they're going to be about. And so when I say this fuel out of joy, I guess what I mean is even though there are moments where writing these were difficult and tough because we went back into headspaces that were heavy, uh, the underlying bedrock of emotion for all of it was, man, how freaking lucky are we that this gets to be our occupation?
Sure. No, I get it. You had shared that you were able to tap into a reservoir of various emotions within the spectrum. Do you find that you're able to sort of exercise any past demons or soothe any past heartaches by doing that, by using that and pushing that towards a more positive creative outlet such as songwriting?
I think so. I think not only can listening to good music be cathartic, but I think writing music can be cathartic.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a quote from, I think it was Andy Delahuerm, who's one of my favorite songwriters. I saw him at a house concert last night and he shared it, and so it's pretty relevant to what we're talking about. He said, don't write into the type of man you are, write into the type of man you want to be.
Sure.
And so even if you can't see the forest through the trees in terms of dealing with trauma or dealing with heaviness or dealing with the ramifications of old mistakes, you can write through that toward the type of man you want to be, the type of woman you want to be. And I feel like we've done that a lot. And in doing so, and in singing these songs, which has forced us to process through shit that has shaken up in us, we've gotten a great deal of headway into, I guess, release and reprieve from all that. So yeah, I think for us, this writing process has been healing. We have gotten to not only excavate, like I said, but make sense of and see past things that were old and busted in us.
Gotcha. I wanted to ask, in terms of keeping your lyric crafting skills sharp, are you reading anyone in particular that's really helping you flesh things out? Is there a favorite poet you have currently, or a favorite author, or fellow
Oh
songwriter?
yeah.
I know it.
Oh, 100%. I admire people whose word bank is fresh and who's different and they speak differently. I've been reading a bunch of Steinbeck recently.
Grapes of Wrath.
Let me see here. No, I East of Eden.
Oh,
And
you're reading East Eden. Gotcha.
Flat. I finished East of Eden, Tortilla Flats, and Of Mice and Men on the last tour, and just loved it. Beyond that, I think recently I've been most inspired by two people, Anais Mitchell and Ray Bradbury.
Ray Bradbury, really?
Yeah, I just finished Dandelion Wine, and it seemed like every third page left me crying in a great way.
I got you.
I just think he's unbelievable. Dandelion Wine is. I had only previously been familiar with Fahrenheit 451 for school when I was a kid, and
Sure.
then a friend, Kyle, actually, my bandmate, has been on a big classics kick and trying to read back on things that he's been handed over the years, and he finished it and handed it over to me, and I loved it. So between him and my constant obsession with Anais Mitchell, I've been plenty fueled from her songs and his writing recently. It's been great.
So you are overstocked on creative energy. I see. That's an awesome problem to have.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't want to, for, I guess, lack of proper explanation, I think I don't want to be, I don't want to ingest the exact same types of art. I'd love to digest a ton of different kinds of stuff. I have normal wells that I go back to, but I love film, I love comics, I love poetry, I love short form, long form. I love singer-songwriters, I love Broadway. I mean, I take in a bunch for sure because it's big fuel for me, but beyond that, I just enjoy it. Well, before I ever did music as a job,
Sure.
I was doing that stuff anyway, just because I liked it.
Would it be fair to say that some of the best artists you find to be well-rounded, and that's sort of a not necessarily that you're emulating that path, but that it's something that you've seen sort of a corollary between?
I think it'd be very safe to say, but I would also push back on one thing. I'm certainly trying to emulate those people. I mean, there are things about people like Anais Mitchell and Andrew Peterson that I want to have in my life. People that were so far from one-trick ponies. I mean, they did. Both of them have done musicals.
Sure.
Both of them have done writing. Both of them have done records. Both of them have done what seem to be concept records. I mean,
Right.
and then I love it. And so I would love to be able to do that.
I got you.
Uh, Continue to create different stuff. We both would.
Gotcha. You had mentioned Kyle, and I want to ask you something, and I mean this question with the utmost respect, but it's something that sort of ties into what we were talking about. Do you
Yeah.
find it more limiting or more productive to work? You work with him pretty exclusively, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you find that more limiting, or do you find that to be more of a productive relationship that you have such quality time invested in that? What's the trade off with that?
Oh gosh, I would find it impossible to write music without Kyle. Especially there's no way. I mean, this band is equal parts Kyle and Andy. There's I just happen to be the one that likes doing interviews and enjoys talking about it more, and he takes some of the other stuff because we're a two-person operation. But I don't find it limiting at all. I
Sure.
find it incredibly refreshing, and in the world of checks and balances of creativity, there are things that he can do that I physically am marveled by. I have no idea where he plucks weird, quirky, strange Randy Newman melody seemingly out of thin air, and so we work very well together in that regard.
No, I
It's
get you. I get
it's
you.
a trade off on certain things, but to be honest with you, he's about heavy 90% melody, and I'm heavy 90% words, and we help each other out on the last 10%.
I
But
got you. I got you.
I love doing it with him.
Back to the album. You had a few personnel sort of give a sort of a midwifeship to this project. You had Ben Tanner of the Alabama Shakes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
What can you share about his involvement?
I mean, aside from the fact that he's a brilliant musician and that he both engineered and co-produced with John Paul, um, unbelievably kind man, unbelievably kind. I would count. I've said this before, and I don't know if they'll ever read this or not, but I've told it to them to their face, so it works. It would be, regardless of the fact that it was a brilliant thing to work with them, just getting to be their friend now is worth the trade-off. Like, if we didn't get to do music anymore, but I got to salvage these relationships, I would be so tickled pink because they're great people and I love being around them. We found kinfolk here that I didn't think we were going to find. And
Really?
as for his musical prowess, I mean, it's silly. His creative, he's a hard worker in the sense that he would clock in and be there for 12 hours doing things with the occasional break for a coffee or a bourbon, and just seemingly not get tired and still be able to come in the 11th hour with incredibly creative ideas for production or for pieces to add. Uh, One of my favorite musical moments is the piano portion in the back of Finery that you can hear. It's like for those with earphones, there's some really cool honky tonk weirdness in the back of Finery that he laid down. And I'm blown away by it.
I got you. I got you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I wanted to say, is there anything else you'd like to discuss on the album, on your touring efforts, your recent date with Merle Fest, or are you going to be coming up to the Americana Fest in Nashville here in September?
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, there's much I'd love to add, but for the sake of brevity, our recent run was incredible. The first 2 months of touring on um, the Little Ever Drown You road was wonderful. We had great response, growth in all the places that we got to go back to. Some of the same rooms as the last tour, doubled in size, and every one of them grew somehow. And we got to finish it with Mountain Stage in West Virginia and Merle Fest, which, to be honest with you, as tired as our bodies were, was such a huge shot in the arm for our spirits that were already high. But it was just this incredible community of people in both places whose give a damn meter for music was so high that, I mean, we would have played for hours on end at both of those places. Merle Fest was this awesome snow globe of people that were so quirky, strange, and wonderful to be around. I adored it. And Mountain Stage, to be knitted into that root system was hilarious. That we got to look at the board of people who got to play there and to count ourselves among it was silly, fortunate how
No,
it felt the entire time.
I hear you. I hear you. It sounds like you've had one of the best possible runs you could have hoped to have, and it sounds like you were coming to Music City Roots sort of refreshed and ready to give one hell of a show to those who attend. So,
That's the game plan for sure.
Hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.